How do you let go of people who obviously don't want to be around you anymore? Create a separation between the idealized image of the friendship in your head and reality. Often when we struggle to let go of someone, it's not actually the person we're clinging to, but the fantasy of what we want them to be. Your worth is intrinsic. It isn't tied to a proverbial goalpost positioned by someone outside yourself. Give yourself permission to feel the good things about yourself that you are trying to derive from this person. People who are not invested in you are not a good use of your time, energy, love, and effort. You deserve mutually fulfilling relationships that you don't have to beg for. Also, use this time to take an interest in yourself. Focus on you. Figure out what you want outside of the scope of anyone else. Honor those desires. Letting go is a good time to do this. I can't believe how true the part about idealized image of the friendship is. This is the best comment here so far. Kinda dealing with this myself RN. I find myself still wanting to message them, offer support and generally just be there for them. But I keep having to stop myself. You just gotta take time and try to step back, even if you don't want to. That's what works for me. When you stop reaching to them first and see that it has no effect on them, then you realize that what you did was right and you have no value in their life. As a 66-year-old woman, I can assure you life is too short to spend an ounce of energy on people like this. Direct it to something that brings you pleasure. Get out of the house for a walk. Take a remote class. Call an old friend. Foster a cat. Bake some brownies to leave with a neighbor. Give it some time, but if you still can't let it go, see a therapist to talk it out. You'll find your way. The best thing someone ever told me is don't treat someone like a priority when they treat you like an option. People will come into your life for reasons, seasons and lifetimes. When you figure out which it is, you will know exactly what to do. Feels like I am always an option. Decide to let go of them and then remind yourself of that decision. It isn't easy, but the habits does build eventually. I wonder what they're up to. Oh, no, wait, I've let them go. Your brain will start to believe you eventually. Yes, and I find that allowing yourself to mourn the friendship helps too. It's a type of breakup, but for some reason it's less talked about in society. If they don't want to be around you anymore, respect yourself and create some distance between yourself and them. The world is a big place and life is too short, especially in the middle of a global pandemic, to keep the company of those who don't appreciate what you have to offer the world. We accept the love we think we deserve. Accept the love you deserve. Don't settle for any less. Surround yourself with people who enjoy you and your company. I love that book. Just let them go. Whatever is going on in their heads isn't your responsibility. Yes, it's painful, and you may never know their reason. Happened to me with some best friends. They just ghosted me at a time when I was going through some personal crises. They were people who always called me when they needed me, but I guess I stopped being useful needed, so they weren't real friends after all. Yes, it hurts and you may think it's so unfair, but once you let go of them completely, you'll find your peace. If you found yourself in the position of letting them go, doesn't that mean they were to leave one day or other? I just accept it, but depending on the situation, I am willing to let them in again when they are open for it again. People who isolate themselves because of depression or got other issues because of life, I am open to let them in again when they are ready. But people who tells you they got cooler people to hang with and treats you like air and freezes you out, I flat out ignore those people. I guess if you are around age of 16, it can hurt that more for some people where friendship feels like the world. Just accept it even if it can be hurting or frustrating. There are other people out there, and or if you are one of those lucky people, you also got a good family who watches over you with care and love. Slowly stop being around them. The best way, I think, is to find another group of people who you feel comfortable around, and then you can start surrounding yourself with them. Over time you can spend more time together, and start lessening the time with the people who don't want to be around you. You can do the same with yourself if you don't want a new group of people. You can start having more me time, and slowly transition to always spending time alone, if you don't mind being alone, and try your best to stop contacting them as much. If it's evident they don't want to be around you, you're only hurting yourself by putting yourself with them, if that makes sense. If everyone moves on without you checking in, then the truth is they don't really need you there. I'm on the flip side here. I'm the one who has sort of pushed my best friend away due to realizations with my own life and mental health. Initially he would always try to see what's up and I'd just push him away more. Now he's slowly giving up and letting me be. But this isn't what I want. I still love him as a good friend, it's just hard to go back to how it was with the amount of crap going on with me right now. I don't want to part ways. Anyone got any advice? Tell him exactly what you told us. Tell him you need time to sort your head out. That's okay. Your friendship will get back to a better place if you're open and honest. Just peace out. Walk away mentally and emotionally before you walk away physically. And then, don't turn around. Ace of base doesn't turn around. Be like ace of base. They'll probably run back for you, but don't let them turn your head. Keep going. Keep that door closed. It's more humane. Ace of base doesn't turn around. Heck no they don't. From someone who has recently got out of a toxic friend group, it's better to detach yourself slowly. I started focusing on self-love and simultaneously taught myself to let go. Today, I'm in a better place with better people who value me. But it all started with me being my own best friend. It can be a little hard, but it all gets better along the way. My best advice is knowing your self-worth and focusing on yourself. I went through a rough patch this last year with someone not wanting me in their life anymore because of a breakup. The best thing I did for myself was delete my social media and take time for myself, doing things I enjoyed, rather than sit around waiting for a change. I started to paint, do yoga, and go back to church, which I really enjoyed. I also changed my diet completely and started working out. I improved myself because I didn't want him to think I was devastated and dependent on him. I was devastated, but I didn't want to give him that satisfaction. Doing the things you enjoy will allow you to focus on that and start to forget. That helped me with letting go of my wish to be with him. I hope you're doing well. Focus on yourself. Don't let anyone question your self-worth. Every minute you spend with them is a minute you could have spent on yourself or with someone who does want to be with you. People fall in and out of love in both romantic and platonic relationships. It's natural and it's fine. I understand it's natural, but it's really hard for me to find new romantic relationships. It's hard to bottle up the anger from having someone you did everything for ignore you. I've already struggled with depression so much and got out of it during my time with her. It hits like a truck that she left me when the sadness started all over again. Do you still want to be around them? If so, why? If so, how much? If so, why? Loop that around a couple of times and you have the answer. Love this. Respect their choice and move on. Don't take it personally and get lost in it. It may be painful in the start, but you want to be with people that honestly want to be with you. But what if the reason they don't want to be with you anymore is personal and it's because of you? Step back. Unfollow, mute so you're not reminded of them every few seconds. And tell yourself every time you need it that every minute you spend wanting to be around them is doing yourself a disservice. You make yourself your priority. If someone doesn't want me in their life, it's their loss. You can't and shouldn't want to control someone else's life and their choices. We all choose how long we are in each other's lives and for how long. If you aren't a priority person in their life, you shouldn't have them as a priority in yours. It's all about balance. This is what the great 2020 debacle has taught me. This is a terribly sad question to ask, and more than likely everyone reading will have some experience with it as well. For me, it comes mainly down to respect for yourself. First up, you stop putting them first or even thinking of what they might want over and above not being around you anymore. Don't be mean or cold to them. Just stop contacting them. Maybe they'll instigate contact with you after that and then you have to make a decision, but basically now you have to come to terms with this separation. More importantly, you're in control of the situation and that is important. From there you just take it day by day. Boost yourself because you'll need it. Do worthwhile things that make you feel better, whatever that might be for you. Always be the bigger person in these situations. Much love to you. You just cease contact. Happened to me. Haven't spoken since. Losing friends is tough, especially when you end up having none left and it's difficult to make new ones. Stop focusing on how hurt you are by the situation. My strategy is to think about other friendly relationships that I myself stopped entertaining in the past for a variety of reasons. Sometimes I'll let friendships die, and it's not always because I don't like them or am angry at them. It's just that my life goes a certain direction and theirs don't. I really like some of those friends, but I prioritize other things or people. It doesn't mean I won't be glad to cross their path in the future. If I have a right to let go of people who would like to be around me, then people I want to be around have a right to let go of me. Nobody owes me an explanation, but I don't owe anybody an explanation either. Thinking of it this way allows me to not take it personally, even if it is personal, and make room for new and exciting things and friends in my life, I believe. Good luck to you. People who don't want me around and have other friends who can support them. Just let them do whatever they want. They're an adult. People who don't want me around but don't seem to have anyone else around. Contact them at increasing intervals to see if they want to be re-included in whatever it is you can offer them: party invites, gaming sessions, exercise workouts, Zoom calls, etc. A simple "yo, I'm cycling to X with a bunch of friends next weekend. Do you want to join?" is sufficient. Introduce them to a few other people they might find common interests in. This is my favorite answer so far, since it has a bit of nuance. You never know why someone might be distancing themselves from you. They could be spiraling into depression and take something small like you going somewhere without inviting them as a sign that you don't like them anymore, and probably never liked them to begin with and were just hanging out because you felt bad for them. I'm half asleep while typing this, so I can't remember who said this. The two hardest phases in life are: 1. Letting go of your attachments, state of being, people, places, things etc. And 2. Embracing the new, state of being, people, places, things etc. Our lives are a constant cycle of embracing something new, living with it, and then letting go. I hope that the realization that this cycle will go on helps you gain perspective. It depends. Some people fall on hard times, illness, stress, have kids, etc., and are generally too busy to keep up with friends. I just give them their space and wish them luck. Other people develop weird issues with some part of my lifestyle, get jealous because I'm doing well in school, or we grow apart. As long as they're civil and keep my name out of their mouth, then I just give them their space and wish them luck. One day they might grow up and come around. And since they didn't try to do any damage, then no harm, no foul. Lastly, there are people who are two-faced crap lords who try and spread bad news about me, make up lies and rumors, and try to get my good friends to go against me. I just give them their space and wish them luck. They're going to need it. So, in other words, I don't give two damns. The people who matter in my life know who I am and where I stand on things. The people who could matter in my life always have the door open to them. The people who don't matter at all in my life just don't matter. So true about the jealousy. I've lost friends after I started doing well, got a BF, did more traveling, or got a new job. They ghost me or flake out on outings. It makes me feel like I'm not allowed to accomplish anything because it might upset someone. I'm a male nurse, and my best friend of 5 years was a woman I had worked closely with for 5 years. I deal with bipolar depression, had my issues and had quite a few lows, wasn't on the right meds yet. I used to confide in her and tell her everything. One day I make an attempt using OD and end up in a psych hospital, and this girl the same day texts my wife. They were good friends, and told her I was such a burden on her and made her feel terrible. When I was told that, I knew I had to move on. So I completely disassociated from her and her other friend there, didn't speak to her or look in her direction. Got a new job with a nice pay raise and have been doing great mentally and career wise. Sometimes just cutting them off and moving on is best. The best analogy I have ever heard is this: you can be the juiciest, softest, most perfectly ripe, sweetest peach in the universe, but some people just don't like peaches. Some people only want to taste a peach once, and some people only have the occasional craving for a peach. When I am feeling the sting of rejection, I remind myself that I am a dang fine peach. It helps me stop trying to be a better peachier peach because they just don't like peaches and there is no accounting for another people's taste. Then I reflect on being grateful I am not pineapple on pizza. I promise, you'll find people who love your flavor. It's called self-respect, dear. It won't be that easy to let go of someone who means a lot to you. Sometimes you just need to understand that whatever happens, it's their first choice to let go of you. Knowing to yourself that you can't let go of them in the first place, you have to move on and get busy with your own dreams. Always remember they lost someone who will never get tired of them. They're the ones who lost, not you. Keep your head above water. Stop reaching out to them first. If they don't make the effort to contact me too, they're clearly not bothered about you and they're not worth the time. Actually a great course of action, I agree. I had a group of friends who I knew since elementary middle school. We're almost 30. One day about 2 years ago they decided to ghost me. For months I tried desperately to talk to them, sending texts, messaging them on social media, but to no avail. After months of doubting myself, I decided, frick 'em. I removed them as friends from almost all social media platforms. I kept their contact info, but deleted all previous conversations. At first it felt like shite, but I quickly began to feel better. Once I accepted their decision, I was able to move forward with mine. Acceptance that people you have had an elevated relationship with may turn their back on you. It's important to be prepared for the inevitable reality. Nothing lasts forever. The sense of FOMO is horrible. Don't let it take control of your judgment. You go and meet new people. Socialize. You'll eventually come across someone who loves you and cares for you as much as you do to them. Hang in there. Everyone here's telling you to just buy Felicia these people, but why not make one last bit of effort and actually talk to them about this? It may be a bit embarrassing, but I've saved some great friendships by just being honest with people and talking things out. This creates a win-win situation for yourself. Either you'll save the relationship, or you'll know for sure it was a waste of time and won't have to deal with that what if feeling. You actually know that they don't want to be around you, or you just assume? Keep in mind, these are very different situations. My, hopefully, soon to be ex-BFF. Every time we text I get an I want space or a K bye. She called my reflux disgusting and ignored me when we hung out on several occasions. I have a post on this and I would really appreciate some advice cause it's really making me feel bad and I just wanna be done with her. Thank you to all the people who saw this comment and helped. It was really nice and there was so much good advice. I really appreciate it and I just wanted to say thank you ever so much. She isn't your friend. You deserve better. When I know it, I straight up tell them they can tell me whether they still feel like friends lovers. When they say no I am fine with that and just let them take their own path. Step 1. Short term. You delete their number. You blast your favorite songs to avoid thinking about them when it's still fresh. You lean on the people who do want to be there and ask them for validation when you need it. You journal. Step 2. Long term. You get a therapist. Our brains seek to find relationships with dynamics that validate the beliefs we already have about ourselves and others. So if your parents or family didn't prioritize you or you felt left out, you'll likely be attracted to the kind of person who will do the same or to the kind of person who will need you so co-dependently you'll find yourself being the one who doesn't make them a priority. Other example, your parent is critical and does everything for you growing up. When you grow up, it's not uncommon to be in relationships where you do very little, where your partners take care of you until they feel the need to critique your lack of initiative, or you may grow up to be critical of others and of yourself. You internalize the dynamic, not just the role. You cannot control who you're attracted to, but you can use logic to steer yourself away from these things we are pathologically attracted to in our brain's efforts to process the world as it knows how. A therapist can help you work through your thoughts and provide some accountability so this pattern doesn't continue. Just to give a perspective from the other side, I'm currently going through this with one of my friends. Our relationship is no longer healthy and it's best for both of us, I believe, if we're no longer close friends. It's really hard to do since we spent a lot of good times together in the past. If a friend is slowly removing you from their life, I can't figure out how to say that without sounding harsh. then just respect that it may be hard for them too and that the issue could be nothing to do with you at all. I hope that helps. Hope you're at least making the effort to communicate to them why you're withdrawing. A lot of people have offered really great responses about self-respect, and I think that's the main thing to remember. The other thing that helps me detach from people that don't want to be involved with me is reminding myself that every day is a finite amount of time. There's only so many hours in the day. Why not spend those precious hours on the people that really matter and really value me? That's kind of what helps me rationalize the dissolution of certain friendships and relationships. That's what life is about. People come and people go. You have to let them go. It might be hard to move on, but we have to accept it. I'm on the other side of the coin right now. I have this friend I know since 2017. He's nerdy, he's brilliant, but he lacks social skills. No problem, right? We can work on that. The thing is, I warn him every time he does something socially awkward. He then agrees with me and don't even try fixing it. He's so brilliant as a student that I trusted him. I thought that he could find his own way of avoiding awkwardness, but he just can't accept the fact that he's not the most intelligent person on the universe. He thinks people need to fit him, not the other way around. That being said, I'm starting to give up on him. I've been harsh on him the past weeks, not because I want him to feel bad, but because I just don't care anymore. He invites people over and everyone rejects him. I come over and we can't have a normal, natural, smooth conversation. It always feels heavy to be there just to please him and don't make him feel bad. That's why I don't want to be around him anymore. It feels heavy. If you can't see your problems, then being with you will feel like moving a mountain. That's not what people want as a friend. Actually answering the question, just let go. If they don't want to be around you, it's because you're slowing them down in some way. If you're 100% sure you're right, then move on. It's the best for you. Don't let anyone who doesn't want to be around you stop you, right? If you feel like you might be a part of the problem, talk with them. If they really don't want to be around you, there's nothing you can do. But if they're trying and still fail to be comfortable around you, you might be the problem. Talk with them. I tried, guys. I tried better than those who gave up on me. Still, I had to give up. I tried. Currently going through this. What I keep telling myself is use the energy and time spent on the people who don't want it on yourself and the closest ones to you. Those relationships will flourish and soon enough you'll never think on the ones that didn't. It will take time. It will occupy your thoughts. But one day you'll look back and be proud you stood up for yourself. How do you let go? I think the better question is, why are you hanging on to people that obviously don't want to be around you? In the early 2000s my flip phone showed my call history with people and I looked at the last 20 messages I had with a friend over the last couple months. All of the messages were from me or him calling me right back. I realized he had never thought or at least acted on the thought of I should call Shell. I tested that out by not calling thinking eventually he would call me, but nope. That was the end of that friendship. I repeated this process to find I didn't really have that many friends and the few friends I did have left were pretty unhealthy for me. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.